episode of Pound the Rock with me and my brother Trey. How are you doing, Trey? What's going on?
Good. Not the best football week, but
No, not at all.
we didn't have to win this one.
Yeah, so sorry I'm getting this set up, guys. We're kind of streaming on a new little spot right now. Um, just kind of, getting all this set up. So Trey, yeah, both of our teams kind of got their asses whooped this weekend. Let's talk about the Steelers first. That way I can kind of, make sure all this stuff is working, functioning as intended. Yeah, how do you feel? You guys kind of got world starred a bit by the Packers in the second half. That was pretty rough. It just kind of looked like to me, when it comes to this, it really just looked like they didn't really. The Steelers just fell flat. Like, I don't know what else to say. It seemed a lot like the Steelers past, where it just kind of, they felt uninspired in the second half, which is super funky. What were you thinking? What were you seeing? And how are you feeling after a Packer game like that?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of good and bad. The bad was obviously lack of adjustment on defense. I think was the biggest thing. We adjusted with personnel. We benched Darius Slay, but when you look at what happened in the game, our plan was to man blitz all game.
Mm-hmm.
And Jordan Love responded really well to that. He was just getting the ball out really quick. And we didn't adjust. We didn't really do a lot to say, okay, well, they're responding really well to the blitz. Maybe relent a little bit and try to do a little more like underneath coverages to try to, you know, I think what most teams in a modern NFL would do there is they would show blitz and then they would
Mm-hmm.
drop into some underneath coverage a couple times to see if they can expose the quarterback and get some picks. And we didn't do that a whole lot. We just kept going, man. We kept blitzing. Um, and the couple of times where it did work, we allowed Jordan Love to just float up balls and DBs were
Mm-hmm.
just getting lost and just letting two dudes catch balls that weren't passes. They were essentially throwaways.
Yeah.
Should have been free picks. Probably both of them should have been free picks if the cornerbacks were, paying attention. But I think the defense got put on their back foot and they played like a defense that was on their back foot. Offensively, I was pretty happy with it. We moved the ball. We scored. We should have scored more touchdowns, but I mean, we were consistently over and over putting points on the board, points on the board, points on the board against one of the better defenses in the NFL. And they have great personnel, and we were scoring. So that was good. Aaron Rodgers is good. Darius Slay got benched. It looks like he might get traded. We lost our safety, which was already a thin room for us. So that's going to be tough. We also lost a D lineman, but it was more of a depth guy than a guy that you were going to see out there all the time anyway.
Mm-hmm.
But we just saw a lot of concerning stuff on the defense. Nick Herbig got like a 30% snap share. That made no sense, especially when we were failing to get to the quarterback. I mean, he statistically is the most efficient pass rusher on the team right now, and he was a ghost. We just didn't see him. So there was a lot of good and bad. We still look like a good team. We just need to address what's going on defense, and I think that's going to happen here in the coming week.
Yeah, here's my thing. I would probably say not the opposite. But I would say the opposite about the offense. The offense was looking good in the first half, and it got completely dismantled in the second half. I'm not going to count the touchdown at 2 minutes. It's a garbage time touchdown. The game was already over at that point. And that is kind of the issue. It's one of those things where I'm not sure what happened, and this was kind of my worry with the Steelers. I was thinking about this a lot this week, and my biggest issue with the Steelers is offensively, they do not have a single player that is top 10 at their position. And I think when we're talking about the Steelers being a Super Bowl contender, I think that's a big problem because their defense, whether you are part of the it's time to put some pressure on Tomlin, or whether you're part of the Terrell Austin crowd, or whether you're part of the TJ Watt's getting older crowd, whoever you're trying to put a little bit of blame on defensively, the offense has always needed to be better. And in my opinion, the offense is really, really needing someone else to come in. I really, really think the Steelers would benefit massively from a splash trade for another receiver. The issue is their best receiver right now is DK Metcalf. They just actually released the charts. He is one of, if not the worst separator against man coverage in the NFL. He has great yak yardage, which is what he's always been good at. But the issue with DK, it was his issue in Seattle, and it's his issue now, is it's really hard for him to be a team's only receiver. I think he really needs a Robin to his Batman or a Batman to his Robin. And I think if the Steelers really, really want to push for a Super Bowl this year, they need to make a splash trade. And I think that was my biggest takeaway from this Packers game was they need a heavy hitter on offense, whether that's a really, really good running back or whether that's another really, really good receiver. Because just having DK Metcalf is just not going to cut it when you start playing elite defenses.
I mean, somewhat, but I mean, here's the thing about it is, our money is on defense. So at this point, we if we had a defense that was playing even reasonably well, especially relative to the talent, we would be winning. We would probably be undefeated. Last year, I think we had 14 touchdowns, or not last year. I think it was the year before. We had 14 touchdowns by I think the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
We had 14 touchdowns before this game.
For sure.
We had one game the entire season where we scored less than 20 points. We've had, I think, 4 games where the opponent has scored over 30. The issue just is not, like, in every single statistical way, the issue just is not the offense. Like, I get it. Where we need to add personnel is certainly at receiver. I think adding a receiver would be great. Or using the receivers we have. Roman Wilson finally had a game where we threw him the ball and he responded well. He was our number 1 receiver, got a touchdown, was separating well, and he should have had even more yards, but Aaron Rodgers kind of threw a ball over his head that he should have thrown at his knees, which would have gotten us a first down, which is the other thing. Schematically, there is an issue with the offense.
Yeah.
And the issue is on third down, we're fucking terrible. Mm-hmm. We were 1 of 10 for third downs. Mm-hmm. We've consistently been bad on third down, and it's largely not because of an issue of skill players in the receiver core. It's Isaac Seumalo and penalties. Isaac Seumalo I think he got injured in that game, so we're going to see who we have behind him potentially, hopefully. He went from being our best lineman on the team to our worst, not just because everybody else got better, though they did. He's letting pressures through. He's letting sacks through. So many people went in completely untouched that could have at least been bumped by him. Mm-hmm. If not, should have been fully engaged in a block with him. And we were on third and more than 10 for at least half of our third downs. It's unacceptable. Mm-hmm. You can't get that far behind the sticks consistently. No receiver room short of the top 3 to 5 are going to consistently get you out of those situations. And that's where I'm like, our defense and our coaching needs to be better. Arthur Smith has been good, but it's like coaching in the sense of getting these fucking penalty bugs off.
I do agree. So your defense right now, this is insane. I actually didn't realize this until I looked up. You guys are the 3rd worst defense in the NFL in yards allowed per game. That's insane. Especially when you think about the Pittsburgh Steelers.
The talent.
Exactly. And then when you're going to points per game, you guys are like bottom 12. I'm eyeballing. It's not 10 anymore. You guys are like right on the cusp of 10. You're like 11, but you know.
Yeah, but enough teams sucked harder than us apparently last week. But.
Yeah, I mean the defenses are starting to crumble like really bad. But anyways, I do agree. The defense for the Steelers has not been up to par. That again was another one of my worries in the offseason. I know you weren't worried about it, but I was very worried about it. I said I didn't like your guys' signings in the offseason defensively.
Well, the issue is
I didn't like.
You can say is bad, but he wasn't the problem.
No. Here's my thing: is my problem with it was 1, Darius Slay was way too old. 2, I actually think Jalen Ramsey has played better, but I still don't think he was a great signing. And my final problem is I never ever thought that you should give that much money to a 31-year-old edge rusher. I'll just never believe in it. I don't care who it is. I don't think you should give massive extensions to edge rushers over 30. And I think that is part of the performance drop off. They showed a graphic during the game where it's like TJ Watt's stats the last, I think it was like 15 games or something like that. Including this season, he has like 5 sacks. So dating back to last season, obviously, where either teams are getting better at dealing with him, or it's a little bit of both. He's just, getting a little bit older, a little bit less burst,
Well,
and teams are getting better at dealing with him.
yeah, they're game planning against him more. So TJ Watt so far this year, this was before the Packers game. This actually was before the Bengals game. So we're talking 5 games. He had faced a league high 68 chip blocks on 162 pass rushes, a 42% chip rate, 18 more than the next closest defender. To give you a relative sense on what that's looked like throughout his career, in his first year of his career, he had a 9.5% chip block rate, only 41 the entire year. And then last year, he only had a 28.2% chip rate, and it's almost doubled this year. So teams are like, you're getting your money's worth if teams are throwing running backs and tight ends at him every single time. The issue is, are you putting the right guy on the other end, and are you putting the right guys on the defensive line to capitalize on the fact that you're tying him up? And is your defense schemed to take advantage of the fact that the tight ends and running backs are always having to come out late? Or are you giving them too much time? And we are consistently giving people too much time, or allowing them to beat our cornerbacks over the top, because we're going press man every play, or we're doing crazy drop back zone protections that allow like Jamar Chase to run 10 yards completely unguarded. So it doesn't matter if you have TJ Watt and Highsmith and Cam all getting through at once. You have Jamar Chase open 6 yards down the field with nobody in the neighborhood. That's the issue. It's a schematic issue. The stats show consistently.
No I mean, so here's the thing: is sure, yes, chip blocks are yeah, that's a high chip block rate, sure, and I definitely agree. Well, yeah, because a lot of the other guys below him are getting actual double teams, not just chips.
He's also getting double teamed as well.
Yeah, but not at the rate other guys are.
Sure, if you chip a guy with 2 people, you generally don't also put a double team in the same.
So, like, the thing is, the Steelers. I think one big thing that TJ asked about this year, and that fans asked about this year, and critics of TJ Watt have asked about this year is, you're gonna have to move him around.
And he needs to not stop. Just critics of TJ Watt.
I said TJ said that. Okay, I said fans of TJ said that. I said everyone said it. And this is kind of coming to the point where, if you are able to neutralize TJ with, again, just a chip block, that's very bad and he needs to move. He needs to be able to move around, throw some stunts, do something to get him
coverages, put him in coverage more. He's already got a pick. Put him in coverage more. Like, do whatever you got to do to make him useful. But Terrell Austin and Mike Tomlin, namely Terrell Austin, because it's been confirmed by like several insiders, because everybody does the Mike Tomlin hot seat bullshit every time we lose a game despite having a winning record. Like, we were 4-1 and they were like, should he be fired? Mike Tomlin and Terrell Austin both are extraordinarily safe play callers, and I think Terrell Austin sees an entire half of the line that just cannot be used in the run game, and he sees his struggling run defense, and I think he uses TJ as a crutch. And he's like, let's just keep him on that right side, because then I know I only have to scheme for runs to the middle and the left. I genuinely think that's what it is. I think they know they've just turned off going to that side, and Terrell Austin is satisfied with that. I'm with you. I'm not a Myles Garrett is the GOAT kind of bullshitter who thinks that 0 production is acceptable throughout like an entire half of the season, as long as you wake up for either the front half or the back half. We need to be getting turnovers with TJ Watt. That's what you pay a TJ Watt for, is turnovers and sacks.
Yeah, so, you can't and again, I mean, Myles Garrett is not having 0 production.
No, I'm not saying this year. What I'm saying is Myles Garrett consistently plays his ass off in the first half and then disappears in the second, or vice versa.
So
Um,
here's the thing, right? Is so this could all obviously be solved by this weekend against the Colts. I
I don't think it
I
can, man.
I don't no. What I'm saying by solved is like this talk could be
Oh,
shut up,
sure.
right? Say they go into the
Yeah.
Colts and they shut down the best. This is the best offense in the league right now. So the
Yeah.
Steelers shut them
Potentially the
down.
best team, yeah.
This is I wouldn't besides the Lions, I would say this is probably the most high-powered offense in the NFL. At least right now. And so if the Steelers successfully shut this offense down, there's no real copium to be
Yeah.
done with that.
And that's some of the good we
Um,
saw. The run defense was great
and so
against the
here's my
Packers.
thing. They definitely could go into Indy, or I don't know, it's in Pittsburgh, but they could take it to Indy and shut this offense down. And then it's like, oh, okay, all is good in the world. Now, on the flip side, though, if I were, I'll say this: if I see the Steelers lose again by 2 scores or more against the Colts team, and again, yeah, their defense is struggling and their offense is putting up 3 points and a half. They're kind of taken out of Super Bowl contention for me. They would need to make, and I have a feeling that might be what they're kind of waiting for to see what happens. Because I have a feeling if they lose this game, or I don't have a feeling, I would assume and hope that if they lost this game against the Colts, in a similar fashion to how they just lost, or worse, against Packers, they would then be like, okay, well, we need to take a big swing here. This is where we kind of jump on someone.
Yeah, I mean it's the last week to do it anyway. It's the trade
Yeah,
deadline, but
like,
you would hope it would happen beforehand. Although
sure.
anyone we grab right now isn't going to play against the Colts.
I'm
Like
thinking,
I don't even think I don't even know if
well, no, I'm more
Duggar
thinking,
is going to play.
I'm more thinking they're saying like, okay, well, maybe last week was a fluke. Let's wake up a little bit. Let's go see what we got against the Colts. And then if they get smacked in the mouth again against the Colts, they're like, uh-oh, like this is bad. We've shelled out a lot of money. This team's ready to win. We want Aaron to have a reason to come back. Like this weekend against the Colts for the Steelers, in my opinion, is very, very important. If they lose, they are most likely, to me, not a Super Bowl contender,
I mean,
because that would be the Seahawks, the Packers, and now the Colts. They've kind of gotten shut down by
the Colts are
pretty
the best
handedly.
team. My thing is this is everybody with the Steelers. It's something, and it's consistent with teams that have historical success. So I get it. Everybody does this shit to them. It's they're either they're either the bane of the league or they're a dog shit team. And I don't think you can have a game where if you win it, you're the fucking bee's knees. Everything's better. You're good to go. Let's fucking go. Or if you lose it, you're fucked and you're never gonna win a Super. Like the
Well,
game is
that's
either so difficult that it can rise you up to that level, but then it's so difficult that it makes sense if you lose it, or it is so easy that if you lose it, you're fucked and you're not going to ever touch a Super Bowl this year. But also then if you won it, that's a game you should win then from that logic, and it's not necessarily going to mean anything for you. I think the Colts are any team that beats the Colts is potentially a contender. I agree. But that also means if you lose to the Colts,
well,
your season's not over. I think it's a
no,
ridiculous
I'm
like
not saying
media
no
narrative
one's
type
no one's saying
type
it's
thing.
over. I'm saying if they
Well, you're
lose to
saying they aren't a
they wouldn't
contender.
be a contender, no.
That would
Because
be season's
yes,
over,
no, that's
essentially.
not season's over. That's they're not looked at as a Super Bowl contender because because the Packers handed them their ass on a platter, and then the Seahawks smacked them in the mouth. And so at that point, you're looking at the rest of their wins, and it's the Browns, Vikings, the Pats, who are now starting to streak, and
Yeah,
the
'cause they
Jets.
lost to us and then started to streak.
Yeah, but
What I'm
still,
saying is
like
still they were probably good, but we beat them. They are now starting to streak
uh,
because they had lost to us. That's why they weren't streaking.
I mean, they weren't good. They had a last second win against the Dolphins and lost to the Raiders before you guys. So I mean, unless the Raiders are all of a sudden really good
I mean,
too, because
what I'm
they beat
saying
the
is
Pats.
the Patriots team didn't just suddenly become a new team. What I'm saying is they were probably a good team,
Well,
and we beat them.
they've
their
also
streak
played the
started
Saints,
because they
Titans.
lost us.
Well,
Yeah,
they've played the Saints, Titans, Browns. So I mean,
sure.
yeah,
I
but
think are the Patriots not? But like, here's my thing. This is what
I
this
wouldn't
is
say the
what I have
Patriots
to
are a
strike.
Super Bowl contender. No,
You don't think they're a good team?
I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender, and that's the only thing I'm talking about. I'm saying if the Steelers lose to the Colts, they have lost to any and all Super Bowl contending teams they've played, so they would be
Oh,
placed
I
in
guess.
that
I mean,
and not that tier.
we've played, we will have played two after playing the Colts. I don't think the Seahawks are a Super Bowl contender team. I
I
think their
could see them
offense is
doing it.
really good. I just don't know that they're, I think they need to work on the defense a little bit in the run game.
Their defense is one of the best defenses in the NFL right now. They're
It's
very
just
good.
got some serious weak points to keep getting exposed. I mean, they lost to half the Niners on offense.
Well, those are division games. Division games are always a bit tougher. It's the same reason I'm not like I'm not saying like, well, the Steelers lost to the Bengals, so now I don't think they're a good team. It's just that's a division game. Like Seahawks still
Yeah,
have a
I
top
mean,
10 defense, top like 7 defense in points allowed. Like they're definitely up there. I would say
they're
they're
a
a
good
better team
team.
than the Patriots.
They're a good team. I just don't think
So
either.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't think either of them are Super Bowl contenders. What I'm saying is, I think we will have played two Super Bowl contending teams after we play
yeah.
the Colts.
So that's
Just as
my
a
thing is
faction
if the
of the Colts.
Steelers lose here, in my opinion, they are no longer a Super Bowl contender. They are dropped down a tier to, just
Wait, so you
good
do think
playoff
we're a Super Bowl
teams.
contender right now?
I still have a little bit of I don't have much.
I was gonna say you've hesitated to say that when I've told you. Every time I've said it, you've kind of hit me on it. So
No,
I'm
I
like, so
said no, I've said I wouldn't be surprised if most of these teams in the AFC, including the Steelers, make the Super Bowl. After seeing the Steelers against the Packers, and if they lose similarly to that, like I'm not talking if the Colts hit a game-winning field goal
Sure.
like that. I'm saying if they lose similarly to Green Bay, where they drop 3 in the second half and get ass whooped, then I would be like, okay, they're not really a Super Bowl contender anymore. They would be like, yeah,
Yeah,
they'd be
like I
out
said,
of my
for me,
list.
it all just matters what things look like. Because if because I think, yeah, I think a lot of people have this perception of that you have when they just look at the Steelers record. They're like, oh yeah, that offense must not have shaped up the way they thought it would. But it's like, no, like look at the games, like look at it's not just the defense, it's the defensive play call, it's the scheme, and
No, yeah, the
reporters have
Steelers
been,
have the most bland,
yeah.
straight up offense in the NFL. What you look if
Well, no,
you
not the offense. The
or
this is what I'm
sorry, that's what I
saying.
meant.
Like,
Defense. That's what I meant.
yeah,
No,
okay.
like if the defense comes out in like a
Doing
cover
like,
2 shell, you're like, oh, this is cover 2. They're not disguising anything. You snap
yeah.
the ball, and it's still a cover 2.
Because this
And
is my
that's
whole
the
thing with,
big issue right now.
yeah, and that's my whole thing with like people who talk about the Steelers. I'm like, oh, people just do not watch games because they're like, yep, Aaron Rodgers experiment not exactly panning out. I guess it's like Aaron Rodgers is probably like top 3 best player on our team. Like he is consistently performing well every single game. He is throwing great. He's getting out of the pocket great. Everything we needed him to do, he's doing. Um,
I wouldn't say great,
but
but
I mean,
I
within this
wouldn't say
scheme,
he's
he's
the
playing
biggest.
great.
I wouldn't say he's the biggest issue. Aaron Rodgers is having the same issue Packers fans had with him, where they started accusing him of being more of a stat patter, where it's like late in games and he starts refusing to take risk and he just kind of forces checkdowns where you'd rather see a guy of his accuracy and talent force the ball downfield, and if you throw a pick, well, the game's over anyways. But yeah, I mean the
I mean, it's just
Steelers.
the Steelers.
We just
I'm watching a Steelers scheme. That is not an Aaron Rodgers
But
problem.
the
I mean,
Steelers again, they right now they have around a bottom 10 defense, and that
yeah.
again, you with the Steelers again, like you said, the amount of money, the amount of talent they have back there, that
Yeah.
is quite literally unacceptable.
And that's my question. Is it's like the reporters, 2 of them, Brooke Pryor being one, who is like a high level insider for the Steelers, are saying Darius Slay is on the block. That we are trying
Yeah,
to
I
look
mean,
for.
yeah,
I'm
that's not
curious.
surprising. He is horrible.
No, that part's not surprising, but I'm curious. I'm like, to who and for who? You know, like, are we just going to get draft capital? That would be kind of unexciting. But could we move him and a pick for a dude at receiver, like a good, like a Jacoby Myers type dude, like a guy where, well, we don't want to give a third, but now we do kind of want to get rid of Slay. So Slay in a 5th, or Slay in a pick trade, our 4th for their 5th.
My
That feels good
assumption
to me.
My assumption is for a Slay trade, it would probably be like, hey, we're trying to offload him for like a 6th or 7th. And then whoever they want to get is going to be completely separate. I don't think any team is going to take Slay and like,
Yep. And Jeremy Fowler
he's been
does
awful.
think Steelers are in the lead for Jacoby Myers, and that would feel nice.
Yeah.
But I really think, dude, we just need to work Roman in more. Roman finally gets a high snap rate. He's our number 1 receiver.
Well,
Who's
again,
been crying? Who's been crying his name? This guy.
He was the number one receiver because he had his garbage time touchdown. Like again, I'm not gonna put too much weight into that because again, it
The garbage
was
time touchdown where he got separation and then the ball came out late and he
sh-
still got the contested catch for a touchdown. It doesn't
sh-
matter what time in the game it is. He did the things as a receiver that you
I
need to
mean,
do
yeah,
to be
sure.
great.
If he
That
can
cornerback was
replicate
not
it,
a,
sure.
that
Yeah.
that cornerback was not asleep. That
I,
cornerback was on him. That quarterback found him again when the ball came out late. Like this is the thing. People like to brand things with these football memes, right? Garbage time.
I mean, it's
But
not
like
really a meme, but
but what
yeah.
I'm saying is where garbage time would be relevant is if the defender that was on him was sort of asleep at the wheel because he knew he had the game won. That was so clearly not the case when you watched the touchdown. They were fighting to every last second to the point where they had to review the touchdown because the ball did end up getting knocked out because the defender was so not asleep at the wheel. So this is my thing is like we got to stop using football memes to cover for not watching the games. Like that was a highly contested, fully engaged defender who was stuck on him. He broke free. The guy reestablished coverage on him because a ball came out late and he still fought for the catch.
I mean,
Like
sure,
that's an impressive NFL play.
it was a good catch, but again, it has to be replicated. Like you can't be like, oh yeah, he made a catch in
Sure.
garbage time, and
And it wasn't
now
his
he's going to be
only
good.
and it
But
wasn't his only catch either. I mean, he had two 10-plus yard catches before that, and he had another 10-plus yard catch that he didn't get because Aaron Rodgers threw it way too high when he had a guy over top of him when Aaron Rodgers should have thrown it to his
yeah,
knees and he could have fell on it. So it's like he's getting separation on his comebacks and on all the routes that you want a guy like that to do well on. Um, the moment he gets a high snap count, he gets a touchdown and he's the number one receiver in yards as well. So that's what I'm saying isn't that he's the next best thing since sliced bread or he's receiver one Wilson, right? What I'm saying is the Steelers, for some reason, know exactly when to get these guys higher snap counts, and I'm hoping that that continues to be the case with Roman because that's one thing the
uh,
Steelers have been good at is
mm,
deploying young talent when they're ready. And
my biggest issue I saw with the offense that I wish they mimicked from last week was force feeding Fryermuth. I just think he's way too good to not be
I,
force feeding.
I mean, you and
Um,
agree there. That's
fuck
a
Roman
schematic issue.
Wilson, but
Jonnu is someone I think needs to get shipped because I think Jonnu is a distraction at this point.
yeah,
I think everything they think Jonnu is going to be best at, Pat or Darnell is better at.
yeah, I'm not really sure how Pat Fryermuth goes for a 2 touchdown, 111-yard game, and then
And
all
then
of a
is the
sudden doesn't get the football
TE3.
anymore.
Yeah.
A
In
little bit
snap
weird.
count, he was TE3. So it's not even like, oh, he just wasn't open. He
Yeah,
had the third fewest snaps.
I don't know if it's just a comfortability thing with Johnu
Sure
since
most.
Arthur Smith has coached Johnu before, but not sure, not
Yeah.
100% sure. But yeah, that's enough hampering on the Steelers. They got their ass whooped enough from the Packers. They don't need it from us too. We could just do Colts Steelers prediction here. I think the Colts are just really, really good, and they're really,
Yeah,
really
I think
rolling right now. I have the
I'll,
Colts.
I also have the Colts. I just don't think we need to change our fundamental philosophy on defense. That's going to take longer than a
I
week.
also think Shane Steichen, if you are going to throw him standard coverages, is going to
Yep.
fucking feast on you.
Yeah. Well, I think we're going to have to really what we did in the Packers game was we sold out to stop Josh Jacobs, and I think we're probably going to again. We need a fundamental shift in how
Yeah,
we do defense.
and I also
So
think
likely
Jonathan Taylor's a lot better than Josh Jacobs too. You know?
right, he definitely is more explosive. He's definitely better in the ways that you're going to expose the Steelers' tackling of the past 2 weeks. So yeah, I think we sell out to stop JT. I think he still has an okay
Also,
game, but we probably get sliced and diced. I think our offense will look good against the
I
Colts.
was texting you about this during the game. I was like, brother, the flat routes were just abusing. This is the last thing, and then we can move on. The
Yeah.
flat, bro, they were just throwing simple flat routes, and it was
Yep.
like, yeah, that's 15 yards. It's like, wait, what? That's a check down. They were,
I mean, you said it during the game. Darius Slay he got benched halfway through, and all of a sudden the flat routes weren't working because Brendan Eccles has a job he's fighting for.
it was
Like
nuts, man. I was literally sitting there.
yeah. BE was a lot better against those though. BE is a stronger tackler. He's a younger athlete, so makes sense. But James Pierre also had a really good game, tackling wise and coverage wise. But he's obviously covering threes, so not exactly begging for him to become a feature outside corner. But But yeah,
Yeah.
we can go to Niners.
Let's move
Breakdowns
on.
here.
We've beaten these guys enough. Um, so we got the 49er issues right now. Uh, yeah. The injuries are catching up. They played a team that wasn't injured, had a very good defense. No knock on the Texans. They were very good.
Sure.
The main issue for the 49ers was their offensive line play.
I
My
was gonna say
God.
I would put it more on the offensive
Um,
line even than the injuries because you guys
and
got a couple
then
guys back this game.
their defensive line, brother. I have never seen CJ Stroud in the last 3 years of playing NFL football have more time to throw than he did on Sunday. He
And you've said
was,
it before, like the way that you beat CJ is pressure him,
yeah.
and you guys were not
And
pressuring him.
part of the issue, man, was one, obviously Nick Bosa is out and Bryce Huff is now out. So the only other pass rusher worth a damn is out. And two, wow, my God, our safety coverage is some of the most abysmal football I have ever watched. I swear to God, if I suited up, I could play better coverage safety. They were just even like if I was Sala, bro, I would have just taken off the headset and left the stadium. I'd have been like, bro, I'm blitzing to send pressure, and they're wide open with a safety standing next to him. Like, and then, bro, the biggest thing that pissed me off, I don't know if you watched the start of the game. The first drive was 3rd and 14. They throw out a little curl. Jair Brown has him dead to rights. He dives, misses the tackle. The dude runs, shakes off another tackle, first down. I was sitting there like, oh, this game's over. Like, you see that and you're like, wow, this game is awful. And that's where the injuries are starting to hurt his defense. You don't have Fred Warner. Last week we had the Fred Warner juice because he was in the stadium. He just got a surgery. Me and you were talking about this. It was that hurrah, hurrah. How are they going to do when they don't have that juice? They
And for
did
me,
not
it's
do
not even
shit without it.
For me, it's not even the juice, right? For me, it's the translating Sala through a green player, right? The green dot linebacker is the guy. Robert Sala doesn't get to talk to everybody on the defense. The linebacker talks to everybody for Robert Sala, and Fred Warner probably knows that defense better than half the coaching staff. Um, then this green dot linebacker doesn't. So if Robert Sala isn't highly and super specific and able to get out every word and every all like little check he wants to make, he doesn't have a guy who can fill in those gaps.
Yeah. Well, actually, I will say this. Richard Sherman brought this up, and I completely agree with him. Oh,
it's just my camera. I'm sorry.
okay. I will say Richard Sherman brought this up, and even he said he felt bad for Tatum Bethune. That was Fred's replacement because he played very well. I actually don't think it was the green dot. I genuinely think it was just absolutely horrendous safety play, which I think starts with why is Jair Brown back to being full-time over Siegel? That kind of pissed me off. And also just I think Upton Stout, the rookie, I don't know if you've paid that close attention to the Niners. Upton Stout is kind of our nickelback rookie.
He's your Beanie Bishop, but
he had a very good first couple weeks, and he is very hit or miss. He is either, wow, that is a phenomenal play, or wow, where the hell did you go and what happened to you? Yeah.
And I want to be clear, like I'm not saying that your backup for Warner played poorly. What I'm saying is there's a whole extra responsibility for the green dot linebacker beyond their play. And I think that's really what separates those leader guys on the defense, those Fred Warners, isn't just that he plays better. It's that he sees the field better and he relays communication better. And sure, let's say the green dot is accurately conveying everything Sala wants conveyed. We've seen Fred Warner play a single play 3 different ways before. We've seen him
Yeah.
drop into zone coverage, see a quarterback run out. Remember, you probably remember this play. I think it was 2023. He drops back into coverage, right? He sees a quarterback roll out. He knows his guy's not that close behind him, so he drops in toward the quarterback, but he doesn't rush him. He sits there and plays like he's going to jump the ball and then rushes him. So the guy
Yeah.
doesn't have the chance to throw. It was like
For
that
sure.
kind of stuff is
Yeah.
going to come through in the checks that you're able to give the guy next to you.
Losing
guy on
Fred,
the
yes.
field,
No, I completely agree. I'm not saying Tatum Bethune is replacing Fred. Like, but I will say, I think Tatum Bethune is a very good linebacker. Like, he has played very, very well.
Yeah.
He is
Play-wise, he looks great.
obviously he's not a Fred. Fred is one of one. He's the best linebacker in football, and it's not close. I think Tatum Bethune actually has potential to be like a top 10 linebacker. He's looked very, very good.
He just hasn't seen enough of the game
but
to give the kind of information.
The issue, it's just he can't do everything. He'll go blow up a gap for someone, and D. Winters or Upton Stout are getting blown by, and our safeties are nowhere to be found. And then he drops back into coverage, and they're throwing a drag underneath him, and D. Winters is 10 yards behind going, help, which was Fred's issue with D. Winters when we were getting chewed up in Jacksonville against Etienne. He was literally sitting there yelling at D. Winters before he got hurt, like, dog, what's going on here? And so the Niners are at the point where their injuries are catching up. You can't really lose a Nick Bosa. That's like the Steelers losing Patrick Queen and TJ Watt and be like, our defense should be fine. It's just one of those things where you're just not going to replace guys like that.
And it's not even just the talent either, right? It's
everything.
It's even those backup guys, right? They're twice as worn out as they ever have been on the field because you don't have the depth behind them to give them alleviation when they need to get off the field. A Nick Bosa can make a sack and then run off the field and chill for a play and then come back if he needs to.
It's that leadership too, that energy, like. It's really hard to replace those players. Injuries have finally caught up to them. On the offensive side, I think it is slightly to do with injuries, but it's also, man, that offensive line was brutal. And I saw, I'm going to call them Brock Purdy fans. They're not Niner fans. They're just hoping the Niners do bad so Brock Purdy looks good. They're like, well, if Brock was in here with his mobility, dude, he was getting schooled in Seattle and Jacksonville with his mobility. He was getting
also he's gonna get nailed and then get injured. The one time
he
can't get out.
He was getting mollywopped last year with his weapons and his mobility. So I don't know where Niners fans started getting this idea that Brock Purdy is Josh Allen, and if we just gave him, I don't know about that, but. This team is very, very hurt. Just so you guys know, me and Trey had a bet before this season on who would make it farther, the Niners or the Chargers. The bet still, it still could happen because the Steelers could get first round because the AFC looks really good this year. The Niners are still, in my opinion, probably going to make the playoffs because, again, their schedule is soft as baby shit.
Yeah, you can see the whole NFC West is riding on those schedules.
Bro.
3 teams with 5 wins.
Yeah. So, but we had a bet this year on who would do better, and I fully believe still, even semi-healthy, the Niners would be better than make it further than the Chargers or the Steelers while healthy. But, dude, this team is brutalized, and I'm very curious. So, your team is actually pretty damn healthy this year. So I'm curious, as a fan of a decently healthy team, how do you get such bad luck like the Niners where I think this is the 9th year under Kyle Shanahan, 8 of their 9 years, they are top 5 most injured team in the NFL. What do you think that is? Do you think it is there was a player that was on a podcast this week and he was like making a joke but also semi-serious, like the training field is right next to like an electrical plant. So he was saying like the EMF and stuff, like kind of joking, but kind of not. But what do you think it is, man? Like it's just every year with this team.
I mean, so the Steelers have struggled with injuries in the past, but we kind of go off and on. We'll usually have like a year where we're pretty healthy and a year where we're not. We had I think the past few years were pretty rough injury wise, obviously. But for me, what I see as the through line of teams that are able to stay a little bit healthier is it seems like the teams that emphasize, weirdly enough, training harder, more padded practices with hitting, far more hitting contact practices in the off season.
Mm-hmm.
Like it seems like those teams tend to just build a better resilience, and I think the reason isn't because they're getting tougher through the contact.
Yeah,
I think it's they're never learning how to play the game in a non-contact atmosphere.
for
They're
sure.
not establishing habits in a non-contact atmosphere that aren't going to work out very well in a contact atmosphere. um, and you're having guys not consider where they're landing in a lot of these cases. Like when Fred Warner got rolled up on, it's like you're not considering what you're about to push this guy that you're tackling into.
Yeah.
Um, or
Yeah. Jair Brown
getting,
did that, by the way, our safety. So that was
yeah.
awesome.
And so it's like, it's a lot of just building habits, I think, out in a non-contact atmosphere that's tough. Because you look at guys like Josh Allen, you're like, that dude should be the most injured quarterback on the planet in the history of the NFL, the way that he plays on the field. Um, but he's not probably, and it's more than likely because he lifts heavy. He
Mm-hmm.
fucking he trains like a big guy. Jalen
Yep.
Hurts trains like a big guy. Like
Mm-hmm.
these are guys that train like they're gonna get fucking hit. They don't try to protect their bodies whenever they can, and build habits that
Yeah.
are
Brock Purdy's a
overboard
delicate
habits.
little flower, isn't he?
Yeah,
My God. Like,
yeah,
that dude seems like he trains with Charmin toilet paper surrounding him. He is just soft.
yeah. And I mean, you got our 41-year-old quarterback getting tackled by our left tackle, and he looked great.
Yeah, if that was Brock, his leg would fall off.
Yeah, I know Kyle Shanahan would stab your left tackle, and your left tackle's the best
Actually, I was gonna say that's Trent Williams. I don't think Kyle messes with Trent. But yeah, man, I think the injuries have just they're piling up. I still believe. I know a lot of Niners fans got triggered about this because they're like, "Why would you pay for a rental?" I still believe the Niners need to make a trade for Kayvon Thibodeau because he's not a rental.
Yeah, you can pay him.
And you'd extend it, give him like a 3-year extension by the time his contract. You could even backload it by the time it's backloaded. All their contracts are over. So like I still think the Niners should make a trade, even though everyone's like, well, they're not Super Bowl contenders this year with this injuries. Sure, that doesn't matter. You don't.
Yeah.
When you're high class organizations like the Steelers, the Niners, when you are these organizations that you just expect to win, you never pack it up. You
part of your ability to win relies on the fact that nobody wants to be on the field with you.
Yeah, like you're never gonna pack it up. I don't care if they're not making a Super Bowl. Kayvon Thibodeau would be a great compliment to Nick Bosa next year and the year after that, and then Mykel Williams the year after that. He's a good player. He's young, and isn't expensive. You still make a trade. I see people say, like, I see a huge thing from Fowler as the Niners are like banging on Trey Hendrickson's door. I hate that trade. I hate it.
Doesn't make any sense.
That one is a rental, in my opinion. Unless you could be
Yeah.
like, I'll give you a second round conditional if he leaves in the offseason, which I don't think you should sign him. He leaves in the
Unless
offseason.
the
We get
Super Bowl was on the table.
Exact. Like, I would only sign him for another year. Like, and that's what you said. Like, okay, I think we're good enough where next year we can go out and push for a Super Bowl. Which, sure, then that I wouldn't complain about. But bro, if you're gonna sign him to like a 2-3 year contract, I just said it about TJ Watt, and TJ Watt's better than Trey Hendrickson. I ain't signing you. Like, and I don't like Trey Hendrickson, but I do think the Niners need to make a trade. I think they made a trade for whoever the hell, Keon something from the Patriots.
White, yeah.
I don't care that he had 5 sacks one year. He's just not a needle mover. He doesn't do anything different. I know they're desperate for a body for this weekend, so that's probably why, they did it. But man, is that brutal. Man, is that brutal. And it kind of leads me to my next point, which is the Lions just signed Aiden Hutchinson, right? And they have built a team so ethically correct. Like, I low-key, and I had someone, a Niners content creator, go, they're the worst first seed I've ever seen. I would pump the brakes on praising the Lions to knock the Niners, because I said, this is how you build a football team. O-line first, get a solid quarterback, pay early, and draft well. And he was
Also, protect your running backs. That's a
and
big part of their game plan is having a good tandem.
and he said that, and I was like, oh, okay. So I'm rooting for the Lions to win a Super Bowl this year, so I can come back to that tweet and go, huh, the worst first seed you've ever seen, huh? Because I think that's crazy disrespect. Because he was saying, oh, well, this is year 3. They're on of their run. Bro, last year they had 21 injuries to their defense.
Yeah.
On one side of the football. What can they do? So, no, I'm not going to pump the brakes on praising the Lions to put the Niners down, because the Niners built their team, I wouldn't say the wrong way, but not the most efficient way.
Like I said, you guys designed your financial strategy based on the 2008
Like,
financial crisis. Yeah.
and
It's rough.
and I think, like, and my issue isn't the cap. The cap's fine, because here's the problem. They're going to waste it on idiots like Brock Purdy. Like, who needs cap space if you're signing Brock Purdy? We're
no money, no problems.
like, that's the thing, is like, it's whatever our cap situation is isn't stopping us from signing good players. Brock Purdy is. And I just think I wanted to talk about this because I think both of us can appreciate that as Steelers and Niners fans. Like, what an amazing way to build a team, isn't it?
Former player coaches, man. Former
Like,
player coaches. I mean,
they have their quarterback locked up, their top 2 receivers locked up, their 2 best tackles locked up, their edge rushing franchise guy locked up. I think they signed Kirby Joseph. I think he's locked up. They signed DJ Reed in the offseason. So that's a cornerback locked up. And they haven't had to pay Jahmyr Gibbs yet. God damn. That team is built so beautiful.
and my thing about it is Jahmyr Gibbs, like it worked out for them because the running back market is chilled. Like Saquon got paid the way he got paid, and now he's having this year, so you know that there's not going to be a demand to pay Gibbs like that. And if there is, they'd say, listen, look at the stat sheet. Montgomery's good too, but also Gibbs. You create, like you said, it's an ethical team. Gibbs doesn't want to leave this team. He's got one of the best lines in the league. And he has an actual tandem where, okay, I know running backs want their touchdowns, but I think Gibbs is confident enough he'll get enough to where he doesn't want to be pounding through, goal line personnel every time on the 2-yard line because he's the lead back. Like, I think he likes that he's got another guy to take those touches from him.
Yep.
And then he gets the little screen pass, nobody even in the neighborhood runaway touchdowns from like 10 yards out. Like, that's such an amazing, like, holistically great circumstance for a franchise player like that, you know?
And that's another big difference between the Niners and the Lions and the Eagles. The Niners have not drafted well in the first 2 rounds. They have not. They have drafted very poorly. That's why whenever it's like, you'd give a second for Kayvon Thibodeau. Dog, name the last 49ers second rounder that was good. It was Debo. And Debo was good for 2 years. 3 max. Kayvon Thibodeau's been good for 3 years, and he's just going to get better. So, like, we've drafted so bad in the second round. Yes, I'd give a second rounder for Kayvon Thibodeau. The Niners have drafted really poorly in the first round. We got blessed with Brandon Ayuk because we skipped out on CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson to draft Javon Kinlaw in front of them, and then drafted BA on the backside of the first round in that draft.
Yeah.
Like, everyone praised it. Well, they got Nick. Well, Nick Bosa was the second overall pick. They were going Kyler Murray or Nick Bosa, whoever the Cardinals didn't pick. That's a pretty. I don't give credit for picks like that. That's an easy grab. The rest of their first round picks are poop sauce. Poop. Like, that's a thing the Lions have knocked out of the park. The Jahmyr Gibbs thing. Everyone was clowning on him for a second, and then it was like, wait, this guy's kind of disgusting.
Bro, there were a couple like that. So people
Hutchinson, Sewell, like
Laporta. They clowned on them for the Laporta pick. They were like, what are they so excited about? This dude could have gone, 5-6 picks later or 10 picks later. They were like, I don't care. They were like, Jahmyr Gibbs could have gone 5-6 picks later. They're like, well, he shouldn't, and we're not going to take that chance. So we're going to take both of these guys, and now both of them are arguable. Sam Laporta's, I would say, he's come back to earth, so probably like top 8 at his position.
Yeah,
Jahmyr Gibbs is like top 3.
Yeah. And that's my thing, man, is they've drafted very well. And I don't want to throw the Steelers under the bus because I think the Steelers have drafted better than the Niners in the first couple rounds.
Yeah.
But even they haven't
First round,
drafted
we've struggled a little bit.
in the first second round. Even they haven't drafted at the level of like an Eagles or Lions. Like
Well, and
it,
the issue is when we do, we don't do the right things with them typically. Like we grabbed Kenny, which was probably a bad pick for the round, and we didn't do the right things to set him up for success. Then we grabbed Broderick, who we can finally say
yeah,
was a
he's
good pick.
finally good. Yeah.
But we fucking they're like, nope, you're gonna play on the right. Now the left. Now you're a backup. Now you're on the right again. Now you're on the left. Now you're left. You're right again. And then it's like, if for fucking this a dude who just got broken off by the Titans to be like the worst tackle in the league, and we just would not fucking put him aside for Broderick.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm with you. The one thing I will say the Niners do better than the Steelers is when they do draft a motherfucker, they will hand him the keys and let him play
Yeah,
the game.
the Niners' late round picks have been the
Yeah.
best in the NFL. I'll say that. Their late round picks have been the best in the league. It's not even
Yeah.
close. But the issue is, in my
It's a
opinion,
little close.
it's-
We got
it-
Peyton Wilson and
it's-
Darnell Washington as third rounders.
we have Fred Warner, George Kittle.
Oh,
you
if
know,
we're going
yeah.
that far back, I got
Like-
better ones.
Like, and so, like, this is my thing. Like, this whole John Lynch era, I think late round diamonds are great, but
Yeah.
you have to hit on first round picks. You have to. Those are blue chips. Those
at
are
least 50%. Of
yes.
the time, yeah.
You have to hit on your blue chip picks, dude. You can't consistently miss, and the Niners consistently miss. We have
Especially
Nick.
when one of your first rounders was actually 2.5 first rounders in disguise. You know.
What? Oh, Trey. Yeah, and the Trey.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Trey Lance pick. My God, like, and that's the thing, man. Is like you can't keep swinging and missing. Like, yes, you hit on Nick. Nick was so obvious. A blind monkey could have picked Nick, and then BA was a blessing from the gods in that you did not deserve because you skipped Justin Jefferson and CeeDee Lamb, and even then, when you think about it in that light, they still missed. Because yes, BA is great. He is not as good as Justin Jefferson or CeeDee Lamb.
And
So
he's
it's
a fucking head case.
like yeah, God knows what's going on with him. But and that's my thing, man. You can't consistently miss on blue chips and expect to be a top tier team. Like it's hard to continue to be at the top when you've drafted so shit. Like, bro,
God,
one of
his
our
third round. I'm looking at the draft that like Laporta and stuff were picked in, and your guys' third round was rough. Jair Brown, Jake Moody, and Cameron Latu. None
Yeah.
of which really play for you. Latu.
well,
comes
Jair
in there a
Brown.
little bit, but
No, Latu's on the Eagles.
Oh, is he now?
Yeah. Jair Brown is one of our starting safeties. He's
He
one of
just
the
sucks.
worst coverage safeties in the
Yeah.
NFL. Yeah. Yeah, dude. And that's the thing. That's why I wanted to tip my cap to the Lions because, dog, they deserve a Super Bowl. They have built their
Yep.
team so ethically correct. Like it's phenomenal to watch.
it is.
It's
They got
just
bailed. They got lucky. They got lucky in that draft with Hutchinson, though. How Hutchinson just didn't get picked first, and everyone was like, "What the fuck?"
yeah. I mean,
But I mean, both of those guys that went the top two look great now. But
yeah, like, and so that's my thing, man, is they've just built so well. I wanted to give them their flowers after that signing today. We've also had a lot of trade rumors. This trade deadline seems like it's actually kind of quiet, which is weird with how open the NFL is. What are you kind of thinking about that? The trades.
exactly what I said last week. I think it's just that thing of like, yeah, it is all the way open. So I think the teams that are still within arm's reach are like afraid to change anything because they're like, it's not usually this open. So while we could do something that could push us over the edge, we could also do something that could fuck us. And maybe we just don't buy or sell. But I prefer the Patriots move. The Patriots like, fuck it. All right, let's get some guys
Yeah.
out so that we can make a big swing. I think
I think they're about to
for
take a big
Crosby
swing.
or a Hendrickson
Yeah.
or something like that.
I think they're getting ready to take a shot.
Yeah, 'cause
Um,
the White is a talented guy. So them getting rid of him, he's talented and young. I think that means they're making a splash at that position because I think they're
Yeah.
saying we're not going to need him in a minute. You know.
Yeah. It's yeah, man. It really is weird how some of these teams, like, dude, if I was the Steelers, I'd take a swing. If I was the Niners, I'd take a swing.
I think we are. Apparently, we are being aggressive about Jacoby Myers and Rashid Shaheed, which is
Oh,
I
okay.
had not
Those
been
aren't bad.
hearing. Yeah, I hadn't been hearing about Shaheed. I like that as well. It's
I think
not as good of
Shaheed's
a
their
fit.
best receiver, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do too. I don't think he's as good of a fit for us as Myers would be, but he's a better receiver in my opinion than Myers. So
Oh, actually, this is what I want to talk about. Screw the trade deadline. Spencer Rattler is the first
I'm
quarterback
pissed.
I've ever seen to get benched for playing well.
Yeah.
Um,
Because he had one silly looking, bad looking low light this week, and so
yeah.
now he's getting benched for a fucking no name.
This is the kind of thing where I could see the Rams jumping in and be like, "Hey, can we go
They
ahead and
have been the team to kind of take
they
guys in and
do
be like,
that?"
let's see how you
Yeah.
look,
Bro, they're and so I needed to bring this up because I mean I'm a huge Rattler fan. He literally looked like a franchise quarterback.
Yeah,
Like
I did not understand it.
and Suge, like one, I don't get to see. I saw them post like the future is now, brother. He's older than Spencer Rattler. He's older
Yeah.
than him, and he's worse than him. Like, dude,
I don't get it.
I don't get it. And I saw Saints fans be like, you guys got to let go of your obsession with a mid QB. Brother, he looked like a franchise quarterback. He played phenomenal for that team. And I was talking about this, bro, if Jawan Johnson doesn't drop the touchdown pass against the Cardinals, they're 2-6. If Chris Olave doesn't drop his touchdown against the Niners, they're 3-5. And it's a completely different convo. Like
it's literally the convo it would be is Spencer Rattler just saved the Saints.
Yes, and
Which
here's
he did, right? The only reason anyone can bear to watch the Saints play football is because he's been playing.
and so I saw this thing where they were talking about like, well, they're kind of just looking because they're gonna have a high pick to see if Suggs got it, and if not, should they draft Fernando Mendoza or whoever's the number 1 pick in this draft? I think you would be bona fide, straight up dipshit if you drafted a quarterback on this football team again.
Yeah, I think it's silly.
I
You
think
clearly aren't good at it. If you do think you fucked up with Rattler at the low pick you got him, and Shuck doesn't work out, it's like
it's
then
not,
you just
yeah.
suck.
Like, and Derek Carr sucked last year, and whoever else they had there, Rattler, yeah, was also like, bro, your O line just is terrible. Your receivers like suck. Like, I'm not gonna. I think Rashid Shaheed is solid. I think Olave has taken a massive nosedive back. Juwan Johnson sucks. Alvin Kamara can't get anything going because he has no offensive line, and their defense is atrocious. Like expecting Rattler to win with this roster has been mind blowing. You know what I mean? Bro, what if the Steelers grabbed him?
68% completion, 1,600 yards and 8 touchdowns on the fucking Saints.
Like, bro, this is the kind of guy.
I probably wouldn't. I mean, we have to draft someone next year. So I don't think it would be very good for Spencer if he ended up on the Saints.
I think that would be great, bro. Sit behind A-Rod and vibe.
I mean, we're not getting rid of Will.
Yeah, I mean, Will will get rid of himself.
What I'm saying is, Will get rid of himself, but like we're gonna draft somebody, then we're gonna have 4 quarterbacks. Someone's got to go, and it would probably be Spencer in that equation. So it's like I feel like it'd be a waste of his time. I think the Rams would be very cool because Rams are very.
I think the Rams and him would be. Yeah, I would be pissed.
And the Rams they'll never have a fucking high pick. They're not gonna have a high pick for like the next half a decade. So it's like they know that like guys like Rattler are extraordinary opportunities for them to get kind of lucky.
Actually, funny you say that, buddy. Last year, remember, the Falcons traded their first rounder this year to the Rams so that they could draft draft their second edge rusher. And the Falcons have the worst coach in the NFL. So they're not the worst.
It's not going to be like a top 10 pick, but it might be.
Yeah. As of right now, I think it would be on the cusp of top 10. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, we'll see. We'll see on that. I mean, I think Rattler. I think you nailed it. Rattler. That's an interesting fit for him. Niners, I think, are an interesting fit.
Oh my God! Don't get my hopes up.
Yeah. You know who would be?
He's so much better than Brock Purdy.
You know who's a great fit that don't have a lot of answers at quarterback right now? The New Orleans Saints. I think that they should really consider.
You know who else should call about him? I know they're calling about Kirk. Bro, if I was the Vikings, my God, I'd jump on that. I'd be like, you guys want to bench him? Okay, let us just take him off your hands.
That's another one where it's like high likelihood for Rattler to just get kind of sat due to just the draft capital invested in JJ.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think them
I'm
going
looking
for
for what's good for Spencer. Okay.
like I think them going for Kirk Cousins is kind of showing like they really don't believe in JJ anymore, in my opinion.
Seahawks could be fun. Seahawks could be
Oh,
fun.
bro, they're
The whole
stoked.
NFC
Nah,
West.
they're stoked with Sam, bro. They love Sam right now.
Yeah, but how old is Sam? He's like 28.
Yeah, he's not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if they'd want to pay him.
He's already paid. They already did.
How long is he paid for?
He's got a 3-year deal, $100-something million.
I thought he was on a 2-year. My bad.
Yeah, no, he got broken off pretty good.
They love paying their former backups over there.
So yeah, I want to talk about that. The Thursday night game is just the Ravens versus the Dolphins. I mean, they suck. We
Booty
could
versus booty, but the Ravens might
have
finally win.
Lamar. Yeah.
I guess they beat the Bears. Who? Oh yeah, you had something you wanted to say this week.
All right, let's get it over with. Hold on.
Rest in peace.
All right, guys, I got to correct a record and go back on something that I said on the first show.
Impassioned, you said.
And I said it on Grant's show. I've pretty much said it on every podcast I've been on. The Caleb Williams 5,000 yards, 50 touchdown dream is dead. Caleb Williams, I thought Ben Johnson was going to fix him. I know a lot of people are coping and like, look at how Jared Goff was in the first few games with him. Jared Goff had less and, was also playing better teams. Caleb Williams is just not a very good quarterback. The things I saw on him at the draft, which is why I said Drake may QB1, which, my God, that prediction was spot on.
Drake May is very good.
Is that Caleb Williams is a developmental prospect that let his talent carry him through everything he ever did. And yeah, that's looking pretty damn correct as well. He quite literally doesn't know what to do if his first read is not wide open. He has an incredible amount of natural talent. No one's knocking that. But boy, is that guy's brain a bunch of mush and monkeys with symbols when it comes to playing with the quarterback position. Like, he might be the dumbest quarterback I've ever seen. So yeah, I needed to go back on my prediction. Sadly,
that was big of you. That was big of you.
I no longer believe in 50 touchdowns, 5,000 yards. 4,000 yards and 40 touchdowns, though, might be in the horizon. No, just kidding.
No, I was gonna say 30 would be where I'd go ahead and repeg that.
Yeah,
which is still good.
Yeah, I mean, the 3,000 yards, 30 touchdowns could, still be alive. He has 1,600 yards, 9 touchdowns, passing. It's wow.
Is this not
so
crazy?
bad.
This dude has the keys to this fucking franchise for years, and he's got a worse stat line when you break it down per game than Spencer Rattler.
Yes.
Who's about to get benched.
I also
with a better team, a way better team,
and coaching staff. I think Kellen Moore is awful, by the way. And I will say, I also said Spencer Rattler was a more NFL ready prospect than Caleb Williams, but no one wanted to listen to me then. But yeah, Caleb Williams sucks. He is brain dead when it comes to the quarterback position. I have never seen someone so incapable mentally for the quarterback position. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
But I think Ben Johnson. Okay, hey, here's actually an interesting question. Do you think Caleb gets benched this year for Tyson Bagent? And if so, when?
No.
I don't either.
No.
I think he has a long leash.
I think that GM would fire Ben Johnson before he would let him bench Caleb. I think that GM knows that once it is confirmed that Caleb was a bust, that GM's getting fired and he knows it. So I think he's going to keep him out there as long as he can.
I actually think the ownership would fire Ryan Poles before they let him fire Ben Johnson. I think Ben Johnson has the keys, in my opinion, to that franchise.
I would hope so, yeah. But I mean...
But yeah, I agree.
If Ryan Poles has the chance to pick, he is going to pick Caleb.
Our
homeboy, if you're a good owner, you should fire Poles for that.
Our homeboy Garrett believes that Caleb is going to be benched by week 10 for Bagent. I don't see it. The only thing I see potentially is Caleb Williams getting injured, like a lot of the quarterbacks in the league this year, so that they can get a good look at how someone else plays.
Football like his Real Housewives. Okay, he wants it to be drama 24%. He wants it to. He's
Get
like,
him,
well,
Garrett.
dude, it's almost the mid-season finale. Like something big has to happen.
Get him.
So yeah, it's
Um,
uh, it's just one of those things where like, yeah, I get like it's one of those. Garrett says I think when he means it would be fucking funny if a lot.
yeah. So yeah, Caleb Williams. Oh man, what a disappointment. I don't think he's a Jamarcus Russell level bust. Like, I'm not gonna lie. He is
Okay, I don't know about
horrible.
that. I mean, he's put up some
He
good
is
stats at least.
horrible.
But I mean, I kind of knew he was going to be a bust when his first win came from literally Will Levis scoring negative points for the Titans and Caleb Williams throwing 2 picks and no touchdowns.
Yeah, he's just looking rough. I know some people are saying give it time. Ben Johnson's offense is complex. Guys, he's worked with Ben Johnson probably hand in hand since he was hired. It's not that complex. It's not like he's asking him to learn rocket science. It's still a football offense. And if Caleb knew how to run a football offense, yeah, he'd probably be fine. I don't really have many other topics for us unless you really wanted to go in depth about the Thursday night game. Other than that, man, I mean, that's pretty much what I got. Oh, sorry, we did a prediction for Steelers, not the Niners. Niners play the Giants. I am going to say the Niners are going to win against the Giants. The Giants have no Malik Neighbors, no Cam Scatterbu, and no cornerbacks. So I'm fairly confident the Niners will be able to handle business on Sunday against the Giants. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Scat, I think, was the pacemaker for their offense.
Yeah.
I don't think they just have really an ability to, like, really establish much up the field without him. So, yeah. And then that would have been your guys' biggest weakness. So now I like Tracy, but not that much.
He fumbles a lot. I think that's his biggest issue is he fumbles a lot. And if the Niners aren't good at getting picks, but they're good at getting punch outs.
Well, and I think like busting through that D line is the big thing to like beat the Niners. And Tracy's not like a bruiser like Scat. Yeah. He's more of like I need a lot of open space. And I think the Niners still have the personnel to limit that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all for me. I think that's all for us. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by, hanging out. We got 40 people in here. That is amazing. That is awesome. We appreciate your guys' support. Go ahead and follow me on my socials. They should be linked in my bio if you're watching on Twitter. Don't follow Trey on his socials. He is off the grid. He lives on a farm in Iowa. So